bonus coaching session I wanted to do for you guys because a little bit of prep and guidance around the holidays can be the difference from, kind of putting on some pounds, feeling kind of bloated throughout Christmas, or maintaining your weight, feeling really good, feeling energized. And we are all familiar that the holiday presents a lot of hurdles with our health. There's the lack of routine, there's the treats, there's the mental load, there's the kids out of school, maybe the kids are getting sick, there's scheduling conflicts, travels, gathering. It's a lot. And it's easy for a few pounds to come on, for us to have some gut pain or bloating or fatigue or guilt. And we, it doesn't have to be that way. And having a few tools in your tool belt can make all the difference. So I'm going to cover the one focus to make maintaining your weight simple during the holidays, balancing your treats with ease so that you can enjoy them without feeling like, oh, I had a bit too much. And then you just, you feel it. You feel the inflammation. You just crave more sugar. We don't want to feel that way. I'm going to cover taking off the pressure on yourself so you can relax. I'm going to cover what to do when the cravings happen to get crazy. I've been there. I've got you. And some simple routines to stay grounded and energized. So if you're here live, comment live. If you're on the replay, comment replay. And let's dive in. I'm going to keep this really bullet pointed because I know you have a lot going on. So if I can keep this a bit more on the concise side, it's going to be easier for you to get the information and thus use the information. All right. So the one focus to making maintaining your weight simple. What? One focus? That sounds too easy. I promise this works so well. And honest moment, you may not like it. And I will always be honest with you. Okay. The truth is more powerful than the sugar-coated not truth. Okay, so the one focus. If you can do this during the holiday season, it will make maintaining your weight easy. It's prioritizing water, protein, and produce. Produce includes fruits and veggies. Like I said, you may not like it, okay? But it's the truth. So how can we work with that? Okay, so if you don't have a water bottle like this, that's what you need to do. When it comes to protein, I really recommend prepping some in batches. So personally, I'll do a batch of turkey burgers, or I'll do a batch of chicken breasts. And that way, when I need to put a meal together, it's super easy. I just grab something, a portion of protein, pair it with some type of veggie or fruit, and it becomes really easy. Even right now, I needed to get something really quick before this call. So I have my batch chicken. I did not have time to really cook anything, so I sliced up a bell pepper, and then I have some guac and sour cream and salsa that I have. So I have my protein, my produce, and then I have some healthy fats. And this literally took me 2-3 minutes. And it's not fancy, but some of your meals can be fancy. Some just keep them simple. Prioritize the protein, the produce, the water. Why is this important? A few things. One, it's going to stabilize your blood sugar and you will feel so much more satisfied. It will reduce cravings. So that way, when you go to have a treat like a cookie, it's not going to create this big blood sugar spike and this big dip, and then you don't have so many cravings. You're giving your body what it really needs. And when you do that, when you eat these healthy foods, you will crave more healthy foods. When you eat less healthy foods, you crave more unhealthy foods, and it becomes a lot harder. So when you can simply prioritize water, protein, and produce, it will make it so much easier because your natural hunger cues will be leveled out. You won't have all of these cravings for carbs and sugar, and you're not really satisfied because you're not eating enough protein or you're dehydrated. Okay, I know it sounds so simple, but I can literally look back at my Christmases and know the difference. The years that I felt like I went overboard on the treats and I felt a little bit out of control, I was not doing this. And the years I did, game changer. Okay, so if you want some recipes for this, you can drop healthy snack guide, and I have balanced meal recipes that are super quick, snack ideas and other things, totally free. Just let me know and I'll send you the link. Comment healthy snack guide. All right, let's talk about balancing treats with ease. I love my treats. Comment your favorite treat. I'm so curious. I am such a cookie person. Oh, give me the cookies. I'm not so much a cake person. Okay. So I'm so curious what your things are. Like, what are you so excited about enjoying this holiday? We want to be in a place where, like, what I mean when it's balanced treats, it's this sense of, oh, I'm so excited to have that and I get to fully enjoy it. And then you don't feel like you had too much of it, where you're like, oh, that was a bit too much. Okay, we know that feeling. So we want to be able to have the treats in a balanced way. I'm all about that. So here's what I do that works so well. I use a when then rule. When I have a balanced meal, then I can have a treat. And that is going to lead to you are already like satisfied. You have a balanced meal, your blood sugar is really balanced. And then you pair it with a treat. You're not going to be so hungry for it's going to be really hard to go overboard with cookies if you've had a balanced meal. And then having one cookie, you're going to be able to feel really satisfied with one. And because you prioritized the protein and produce, um, then you just won't crave so much of the sugar. You'll be able to feel very satisfied with the portion. You're like, whew, that is just right. Okay, so a balanced meal, again, if you want the recipes, just let me know. But it's like protein, produce, and a healthy fat. Balanced meal. Done. If you want to add a carb on the side, totally cool. Like, all right. So if you have any questions on that, let me know. And that's it. That's simple, easy peasy. So this means like if I'm building gingerbread houses, I'm not just like snacking on the gingerbread houses. What I will do is I'll have my balanced dinner and then I'm like, I really want some of those gingerbread houses. So then I will take a couple chunks of it off because I honestly love gingerbread houses. And I will enjoy some after the meal. This means if there's like snacks on this thing at the house, on the counter at the house all day, it does not mean I'm having little nibbles throughout the day. That's going to lead to lots of blood sugar spikes, a lot more cravings. It's going to make it way harder. If I have lunch and then I'm like, ooh, I want a piece of fudge and just like a little bit of that cookie. Cool. When I have my balanced meal, then I have my treat. And you can have it, within an hour or so. It doesn't have to be directly after. So this is going to prevent the nibbling. This is going to help you eat them when you're coming in more satisfied. Now, sometimes I'll do dinner and then I'll do a treat like at night. Like if you have dinner at 6 and then you want to have a treat at 8, that's fine. Take the treat, plate it, go sit down with it and really savor it. Okay. So next, taking out the pressure from yourself so you can relax. This is something that we did with our clients, and it's really a process where sometimes our health goals, we can get in an all-in, all-out mindset, and it feels like a lot of pressure. So then we just want to we want to be like, well, it's the holidays. I don't want the extra pressure of being healthy. That sounds like a lot of work. It's only feeling like a lot of work because you think it has to be perfect, or you're putting more pressure on yourself than you need to. That, okay, I need to get this amount of workouts, otherwise, or I need to be like perfect on the nutrition, or it's this all in, all out heaviness. How I want to support you in thinking differently so you can take the pressure off is just looking for opportunities to prioritize your health so that you feel good. All right. And it's not about being perfect, right? And it's not going to go as expected. Even for me, I can make the most beautiful plans for my health. They still won't go as expected, but I can still do about 80-20. Okay. So let's say I did have the extra serving of dessert. And I'm like, oop, I had a little bit too much. We're not going to sit and like, oh man, like, why did I? Okay, the last thing we need to do is add more guilt and shame on top of it. It's like, oh, okay, like I had a bit too much. And Jess said, like, things wouldn't go as expected. And I'm still, like, doing my best. So it's all good. Like, what's the next best step? Okay, so really just taking off the pressure. It's like, okay, I'm going to look at how to prioritize my protein and produce and water. And I'm going to look at how to get some movement in. That's going to make me feel really good. It's not going to be perfect, but I can still like those things will help me feel good. So I want to do them. So I'm going to be looking for how to do that. And, I may not have such a big skill set built up to ace this thing, but I can still make progress and be intentional so that, again, I feel good. This is about feeling good because when we're eating healthy, when we're moving our bodies, we feel good. And we need all the feel goods during this season when we got a lot out of our control, right? Okay, progress to expect in the season. I think it's such a great goal to maintain your weight or close during the holidays. It's a beautiful time to, it's probably good for your metabolism, honestly. That's what most of our clients focus on during Christmas, and then they can hit a nice fat loss phase coming into January. So, you don't need to try to restrict. We just want to eat more at a maintenance level. So you're not overdoing it, but you're not restricting. You're not trying to eat, try to keep your portions. Like we never do that anyway. Okay, so setting an expectation of, or a goal or intention of maintaining your weight is a really healthy thing to do. All right, what to do when the cravings get crazy? Oh, girl, this used to be me so bad. And there are some tools to really get on the other side. I'm going to kind of simplify it for you. Number one, cravings. They are an urge. It's this sensation, you could say, in your body that you want that thing. And it can feel a bit intense, and you can feel like you don't have control. And the truth is, you always have control. There's not a part of you, of your brain, that can force you to pick up the cookie and eat it. Like, I won't go into the science, but you actually can always say no, even if that urge is coming up. You're like, oh man, I really want another slice of pie. All right. So here's what you can do. Number one, observe it and know you don't have to do anything. The urge will come like a wave and it will pass. It may take 10 minutes. Here's how you can get that urge to pass smoother. I would say, if you can, going for a walk actually helps stabilize your blood sugar. So then that craving will, not only are you, focusing on something else, but internally and biologically, it will help that urge to go. Okay, so a walk that might not be available depending on the weather or if you have a walking pad. Right. So other options, drinking water. Other options are some type of movement. Okay, you can just even doing some dancing around your house, your personality, some type of movement. Another one is a tapping session. I've created a end stress eating tapping session where you're going to be tapping and repeating back to me. This will help calm your brain, calm your nervous system, and shift that urge out. So if you want the tapping session, just comment tapping session and I will send it to you. And what's cool is it's about 8 minutes. You can go listen in your car. You can go into, sometimes I need privacy and I'll go into a closet. Okay, so it's very accessible to you wherever you're at, and it can really help this urge to just pass so that you're like, cool. Like I had that urge for that second piece of pie and like, oh, I was feeling it, but I used these tools to get over it. And now I don't even want the pie anymore. Oh, wow, I did it. Like I do have control. And then you start to stack experiences and wins like that, and you gain a lot more confidence around food. So there's that. All right, lastly, simple routines to stay grounded and energized. The biggest thing here is setting some boundaries for yourself. So I would recommend giving yourself space in the morning to maybe you wake up a little bit earlier to get some food ready for your meals. Like maybe you get the lunch ready, your first meal ready, and some snacks. So that way, when the day gets a little bit crazy, you have those ready to go. That would be an amazing routine. Another thing to be conscious of is communicating with your environment and the household and whatever situation you're in, so that you can set a supportive stage. Because lots of times as moms, we'll feel guilty for going to get some exercise or taking time for ourselves when it's all about the family. Where in reality, if we took a half hour to get a workout, like it would not be a big deal. But we just kind of need to set those containers in advance can be really helpful. So when I go stay with my mom, for example, I'll be like, hey, there's going to be a couple times that I go to the gym. Is that okay with you? Here's the time frames that I'm thinking it would pop up. It's going to look a little bit different for everybody. But that way, she's on my side. She's not like, why is she going to get a workout? It's Christmas time or something. I explain, like, hey, this really helps my energy. When I go get these workouts here and there, like, I can be so much more present. I have so much more, my mood's better, everything's better. And so I want to have the best experience I can with you. So is it okay if I go twice a week to the gym and get this workout? And then she's gonna be like, cool, go girl. All right, then, it's like enrolling them in understanding why they would want you to do it. So that way you don't have any guilt and they're expecting it. Glorious. You could also do this with your spouse. If you're like, hey, is there a few times this week that you could take the kids so I could get a workout? Something like that. Or different things around prepping food, where it's like, hey, I'm going to fit food prep and then we can play games as a family. It's okay to like take some of those chunks, windows of time. It just can really help if you talk to your people in advance, set some expectations, help them understand why it's important to you. And then everybody's a team and it feels really good. All right. Let's see. Other things that can help when lots of people are around, invite people to go for a walk. Be the leader to support more movement for everybody. I remember would do this after Thanksgiving, where we would do a family walk. It was so nice. Instead of just like sitting on the couch and then you just feel kind of nasty, right? All right. So, another thing is, last thing I'll say is, our priority is how can we feel good during the holiday? And I would say some of the big dominoes for that are what you're eating, the nutrition, and then movement. So sometimes it can feel a little bit hard, but if we can tip the domino, then it will support more, it'll create momentum for health. So if you're not feeling good about, it's like, oh, this is feeling hard, get some movement. Once you get movement, it'll start to feel easier. With the nutrition, when you eat that first healthy meal that maybe you got up early and prepped a little bit so it was ready, that will tip the momentum so that you're craving more healthy foods. Okay, and it gets easier and then we're feeling better. So when we use the domino, like, okay, a healthy meal, getting movement, then that momentum is supported to continue in a healthy way. Now, when we have the unhealthy meal and we're not moving, it's like, oh, we got to get some of that momentum back. You can totally do it. So it's like, okay, let's go get a walk. Like, I'm feeling like really, it's like, okay, go get a walk and use that domino, get that momentum swinging in the other way. So that's it. This can be really good to review, but really simply it's just prioritizing the good nutrition and using a couple of the tips that I talked about. All right. And this is really just practice. Every year is practice for the holidays and how you're going to navigate it. It's not going to be perfect. The goal is like each year you're getting a little bit better. You're learning things. And, it's like finding that it's a skill set, like keeping your health on your plate. All right. So if you want the healthy snack guide, just comment healthy snack guide. If you want the tapping session, comment tapping session. Those are my gifts to you so that you're feeling good this holiday. And so grateful to have you all here in this group. I love supporting you. So if this is helpful, please let me know. If you got value, comment value. And exciting things coming in the new year. I will keep you posted. But for now, prioritize you, prioritize your health. Everybody wins when you do. And if you have questions, let me know.